Hello, y'all, and welcome to tonight's wellness webinar. The team has been holding these wellness webinars for several years now, talking about biohacking and how activation can help you. Tonight, and I'm happy to introduce my friend Marco Rodriguez, who has been a health professional since 1992 and has been in private practice since 2013. Marco Rodriguez has an inspiring story that led him to a self-discovery as questioning himself as to what else is in the market that can lead to a better lifestyle and wellness. This led him to LifeVantage. So he and his wife Diane founded Transformation Rehab in El Paso, Texas, and is one of the largest in the country. They do physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and serve over 500 appointments weekly. They have many achievements, including distinguished alumni for the University of Texas Medical Branch, as well as keynote speaker at the 50th anniversary graduation ceremony. He is a former board of directors of the Autism Society of El Paso, Texas, and the list goes on and on. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my friend Marco Rodriguez. He's going to share with us a presentation covering biohacking, brain mapping, and his experience. Hi, Marco. How are you doing today?
All right, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this webinar. It's hard to believe I'm 56 and I've been in healthcare for well over 30 years. I began my career working in inpatient rehab. The majority of my patients were over the age of 50, my age, and many of them were in the hospital for various injuries or surgeries, heart attacks, brain bleeds, and part of my job was to read the medical history prior to starting my initial evaluation. And I soon realized that although my patients were there for their specific injury or surgery, many of them also had a list of secondary health concerns. For example, many of my patients were moderately to severely overweight. Many of them had issues with high blood pressure, degeneration of joints, brittle bones, impaired overall cognition, all of which impacted their mobility as well as their independence. It didn't take me long to realize that these were the health conditions that were affecting the majority of individuals as we get older. And I remember at 25 years old, I began researching how to combat these common health conditions before they began to affect me. And typically, I'm very hesitant about promoting natural compounds because many of them lack independent third-party peer-reviewed studies to back up their claims. However, when I looked into the LifeVantage protocols, I was impressed to find 28 peer-reviewed studies in PubMed, which is the archives of the National Library of Medicine, including 7 of those studies on cancer. And if that wasn't impressive enough, keep in mind our federal government studied this product for 10 years through the National Institute of Aging, which is a part of the National Institute of Health, and concluded that Protandim was the only natural product clinically proven to extend life for mammals. It doesn't work on birds, fish, reptiles, but all mammals, lions, tigers, bears. They've even done studies on dolphins, which are mammals, and that debunks the idea that any of this is a placebo effect. And when I found out there was over 4,000 physicians, nurse practitioners, and all kinds of health professionals that are consultants with LifeVantage, I was impressed with that. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you some of the information pertaining to LifeVantage protocols. And I'm going to start with an ABC Primetime investigative report that Dr. Melody Rodarte, who's an internal medicine physician, shared with me a few years ago.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist. His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes 2 antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
It's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful. It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. And for me, it begins with a blood test. They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body.
Leading to disease.
Leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. You can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases. Liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these. Strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. And I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. But because it's being sold as a nutritional supplement and not a drug, Protandim does not need FDA approval for safety.
Protandim NRF2 is protected by 7 U.S. patents. Major universities and government agencies initiated and continue self-funded studies following the ABC Primetime Investigative Report you just viewed that originally aired back in 2005. These studies continue to reveal more scientific evidence about Protandim NRF2's unique benefits and to evaluate how this anti-aging breakthrough can prevent and improve many of the problems associated with aging. The next video will bring you up to date on what happened next.
Major universities and government agencies initiated and continue self-funded studies following the ABC Primetime Investigative Report you just viewed that originally aired in 2005. These studies continue to reveal more scientific evidence about Protandim's unique benefits. They are published in major scientific and medical journals. The next video will bring you up to date.
Developed after 40 years of research and exclusively for LifeVantage, Protandim is a true scientific breakthrough in anti-aging. Protandim has been reported on ABC, NBC, and PBS, featured in the Wall Street Journal, and described in CNN Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Sanjay Gupta's book, Chasing Life, The Quest for Immortality. Protandim's creator, Dr. Joe McCord, is a world-renowned scientist and a pioneer in free radical biology. Dr. McCord is the discoverer of the key anti-aging enzyme superoxide dismutase. His role in the discovery is so significant, the enzyme is measured in McCord units. For Dr. McCord's discovery of superoxide dismutase and his contributions in free radical biology, he was awarded the Elliott Cresson Medal. This medal is awarded to distinguished inventors and scientists. putting Dr. McCord in the same company as Pierre and Marie Curie, Alexander Graham Bell, Orville Wright, and Henry Ford. Dr. Joe McCord has devoted his life's work to the study of free radicals, their role in aging, and the many problems associated with aging. Consumers spend billions every year on antioxidants in the form of food and supplements, hoping to reduce these free radicals. But antioxidants from these sources can only eliminate one free radical for every one antioxidant molecule you consume. Protandim is scientifically proven to slow cellular damage caused by free radicals. Taking one Protandim 1 time per day for 30 days turns on these anti-aging enzymes in your body. Your own enzymes eliminate free radicals at a rate of 1 million to 1. Protandim is a breakthrough poised to revolutionize the anti-aging industry. It is an entirely new and scientifically validated way to fight aging, reducing your oxidative stress levels to that of a 20-year-old after just 30 days.
We found, as many other scientists had documented, that there is a progressive increase in T-bars in your blood the older you get. When these same people took Protandim for 30 days, the age-dependent increase in lipid peroxidation was completely eliminated. After Protandim, we could no longer distinguish the 80-year-old from the 20-year-old.
Protandim is protected by 3 U.S. patents. Universities around the world continue to initiate and fund their own studies of Protandim and to evaluate how this anti-aging breakthrough can prevent and improve many of the hundreds of problems associated with aging.
Protandim interacts with the DNA in your cells and causes the cells to make more of a set of genes called survival genes. The ingredients in Protandim were actually selected because they are largely metabolized by the liver, which does not interfere with most prescription drugs, which are generally metabolized by the kidneys. So the general answer to that is yes, it is safe.
Back when that ABC primetime report aired, LifeVantage was a small biotech company publicly traded on NASDAQ, really nothing to speak of. But shortly thereafter, you had universities from all around the world calling Dr. McCord's lab, wanting to study Protandim as it related to whatever area of study they were focused on. So, for example, LSU, in conjunction with the Skin Cancer Foundation, found that Protandim in a topical form reduced the proliferation of skin melanoma by an average of 57%. Johns Hopkins had a very similar study on lung cancer. The American Heart Association published a 26-page article in Circulation magazine on its effects on cardiac health. As I mentioned earlier, our federal government, the National Institute of Aging, which is a part of the National Institute of Health, studied Protandim for 10 years. Now, guys, I know our government can be a little wasteful sometimes, but think about this. Why in the world would our federal government think it was important enough to study this one natural product for 10 years? At the end of the study, they concluded that Protandim was the only natural product clinically proven to extend life for mammals. As I mentioned, it doesn't work on birds or fish or reptiles, but it works on all mammals 100% of the time on 100% of mammals. Now, some of you might be wondering, if NRF2 is so powerful, why aren't the pharmaceutical companies going after it? Well, guess what? They are. Several years ago, Biogen, which is a pharmaceutical company that developed a drug for multiple sclerosis called BG12, it's now called Tecfidera. During their clinical trials, they compared BG12 to other products, including Protandim, and at the end of the study, they concluded that Protandim, which is a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. Now, keep in mind, I'm certainly not saying that Protandim should be used to treat, cure, or mitigate any disease. I am simply reading the research off to you as I find it. So the more I dove in, doing my research, the more excited I got about it, and I started sharing it with people. And I'm going to introduce you to a gentleman. His name is George, and he is the husband of a local surgeon. And I want you to notice what happened before he started taking Protandim, and then 2 months later, and then what happened 3 months later.
Ok. Ahorita lo bajo. Déjame abierto. Yo lo bajo. Déjame cargarlo.
And this is just one example of many that I've seen over the past several years. And once again, George still has, but according to his wife, his quality of life has gotten significantly better. And hey, we'll take it. LifeVantage has taken that same NRF2 technology and applied it to several other products. Now, obviously, we don't have time to go over all the products, but I'll just highlight a few of my favorites. So, for example, Axio is NRF2 activation for the brain. I call it liquid brain food. And when I first heard about this, I thought, well, gosh, if this can do what they say it can do, maybe it would help my son, Seth. Seth's story is pretty remarkable. At 7 years old, he had a very nasty fall and sustained a traumatic brain injury, and he was in special education for 8 years. So we started giving him NRF2 as well as Axio, and within 4 months, he tested out of special education, graduated in advanced placement, received college credit, and is now a mechanical engineering student with 3.65 GPA and working on rocket propulsion systems for the United States Air Force. This next slide was sent to me by Dr. Brett Bramhall. I believe this was his nephew. And if you notice the difference in the handwriting skills before taking the NRF2 and the Axio, and then after 1 week, look at the difference in the handwriting. Now, as a therapist working with pediatrics, I understand that handwriting is a good indicator telling the organization level of the child's brain. Hopefully that makes sense. So we got really excited about it, and I began to wonder if there was a way to quantifiably measure improvements in the brain. And I'm so grateful to Dr. Jeffrey Fanning. He's a neuropsychologist and LifeVantage consultant who mentored us and helped us to develop our neuroplasticity department. So now we can take QEEG brain map studies to measure improvements in brain function. So, for example, if you look at the images on the left, you see all the yellow, oranges, and reds. That's a lot of overactivity. One child described it as screaming monkeys. And look at the difference in that same child's brain function after 3 months of NRF2 and Axio. And we see this type of improvement on a regular basis. And that's just a couple examples of the many products that LifeVantage has available to improve your health in your body and your brain. Now, the next product I want to cover is our GLP-1 activation. GLP-1 is a hormone that your body produces. Now, many people are familiar with the GLP-1 shots, which requires a doctor's prescription and regular injections for it to work. That is not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is reactivating your body's own ability to make GLP-1 in order to help you achieve your weight loss goals. And because it's your body producing it, your body knows exactly how much to make so you don't make too little or too much, and you don't have all the side effects. In addition to the rapid weight loss, people who use GLP-1 are experiencing the disappearance of those late-night cravings, often described as food chatter. Interestingly, people also report increased energy levels, improved mental focus, improvements in insulin utilization, just to name a few. There's so many benefits to GLP-1, but I find most people are interested in the rapid weight loss capabilities. One of the challenges people face when experiencing rapid weight loss is that the skin is unable to contract rapidly enough, resulting in saggy skin. To address that issue, LifeVantage has a collagen activation system which utilizes ruby red quinoa and other natural compounds to turn on the TGM1 and the KRT1 as well, genes, in addition to the KRT10 genes, in order to boost your own collagen production by 500%. So when combining GLP-1, NRF1, NRF2, and collagen, the idea is not just to simply lose weight, but to be healthy. Guys, I am 56 years old, and I weigh the same today as I did when I was 25 years old. And my waistline is exactly the same as it was 30 years ago. How many people do you know that can say that? And don't misunderstand. This is not about fat shaming. I understand the struggle. In my 30s, I gained nearly 60 pounds, peaking at 214 pounds. My waistline was anywhere between 39, almost 40 inches, and my body fat was well over 40%. I was extremely unhealthy. Losing weight was one of the most difficult challenges I'd ever faced, and it seemed like it took forever. I'm so grateful that LifeVantage, also known as the Activation Company, makes it so much easier now for people to lose those unwanted pounds, tighten their skin, reduce cytotoxicity levels, also known as oxidative stress, and improve their overall health. And with that, I'm going to have to wrap it up. Guys, I'm so sorry for going over my time, but there's so much more information I wasn't able to cover tonight. But I want to encourage you to get back with the person who shared this webinar with you. Ask them questions and see which of the protocols would best fit your overall health goals. I want to thank you for sharing a part of your day with us. Have a blessed evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.